Hello everybody, welcome to the I Am IT YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz and as ever, I am the IT Geek. Welcome back to another Microsoft Entra Deep Dive Series episode, and we are well into the series now. A really fun series, security and this sort of stuff is very close to my heart. I do enjoy talking about it. So we are roughly, I think, about episode 10, I think. This is episode 10, so we've covered loads of ground already. So again, I want to say quickly thank you to everybody who's been supporting the series and been commenting and private messaging me saying how much they're enjoying it. Again, my understanding is there's not as much content out because Microsoft Entra, especially this concept of Entra, is quite new, I think, from Microsoft. So a few people have told me that there's not as much content out there quite yet. So they're really enjoying this series. And I said we've covered loads of interesting ground. I've tried to stay within the portal more to give you that sort of hands-on feel. So we're starting a new topic today, so let's get straight into the episode. So as mentioned, we are in this is the Microsoft Entra Deep Dive series. It's a bit of a recap. Let's just go through what we were covering in the last episode. So it was the final part 3 of Protect and Secure. That was a 3-part episode, a lot of ground to cover in there. But in part 3, we covered password resets. We spoke about custom attributes, and we also looked at risky activities. And throughout the episode, as I do with all my episodes in this series anyway, I talked about best practices and some of my experiences configuring these services and some of my recommendations, really. So, as I said, we are in a new topic now. This is going to be, I think it's a 2-part topic. It's all going to be on identity governance. And if I'm honest, this is probably my favorite aspect of Entra. And Azure Active Directory and identity in general. So today we're going to cover entitlement management and we're going to look at access reviews. So just want to, for those who aren't aware what entitlement management is, this is essentially the identity governance feature that kind of enables companies and organizations and businesses to manage the identity and access lifecycle. And you can do it at scale. And you do that by automating that sort of access request workflow process, sort of the access assignments, and also the sort of review and expiration process. And that's key. It's the automation. Now, long gone are the days in old money and back on premises days where you'd give everybody domain admins. We're all agreed on that, hopefully. But what you don't want to do is have too much of a management overhead doing tasks and giving people access when they request it. So what with entitlement management, it allows you to automate that process. Because if you think about, we have that baseline, and again, we're going to talk about RBAC and role-based access control and PIM later on in the series. But by now you should have given your administrators or your users that need a bit of enhanced privileges that base access. So that's their day-to-day job. But then if they need to do anything outside of that, might be doing a backup or might be updating an application or updating a VM or whatever, then allowing them to request the access, give a reason for that, and then all you need to do as a management team or an administrative team is approve that or deny it if you don't think it's valid. And then they can if it gets accepted, they can then go in and accept it themselves. They can then go increase their privileges once it's been approved. So rather than you as the administrative or management team having to go in and manually give them access and then manually remember to give them access, with entitlement management, it allows you to give them an expiration date as well. So after, say, 4 hours of that time window, that maintenance window, their access is gone automatically. Gives you peace of mind as an administrator, as a management team, and allows you to focus on, evolving the systems and focusing on, maybe end user experience or other aspects rather than sort of management overhead. So a really good topic. I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. So let's get stuck into the first topic, which is going to be entitlement management. So let's jump straight into the portal. Welcome back. So here we are in the Microsoft Entra Administrative Admin Center. And again, as I said, at the moment, our focus is on Azure Active Directory. And we are down here. We've covered look what we've covered so much already. So we're going to be down in identity governance, as I mentioned, and we're going to specifically click on entitlement management. So here we have the entitlement management identity governance aspect of Azure AD. And again, on the sort of getting started page, you can see all the various, so it's a standard dashboard, really, with sort of your external user lifecycle, your group membership, role assignment, auditing and reporting. And again, these are all sort of documents you can read or you can view. It allows you to, not just documents, but also little shortcuts into sort of, if you want to control your external live user lifecycle, you can click on there to look at common use cases. So this is really good information, especially when you're getting started with this. If you're new to this topic, I definitely recommend going into the portal and having a read of some of these and going through some of the common use cases, because that'll then allow you to, I suppose, relate these common use cases to your own organization, your own business. So if you are getting started, definitely recommend this. And again, it's just great that Microsoft have this sort of approach. It's not just about configuring; you need to learn as well. So as we go down the portal, if we look at access packages first of all, so straight away gives us not a warning, but a sort of alert at the top. So the user administrator role will no longer be allowed to manage catalogs and access packages in Azure Entitlement. So this is something that you need to be aware of, and you need to transition. If users you are doing this role and do this job, you're given that user administrator, make sure you are transitioning them to the identity governance administrator to make sure they can keep on administering. So the massive key there, just make sure that'll be there, I'm sure, for a few weeks and months yet this morning. But this is happening in a few weeks apparently, so as of this recording. So be wary of that and make sure that you are giving people, especially, we all know Microsoft make changes regularly to my annoyance anyway, because they'll seem to do it when I'm right in the middle of a series. So they've obviously changed the access package, so be wary of that. So at the moment, I've not got any existing sort of packages. And then, so if we talk about, what is an access package first of all, so these are essentially packages of applications that you can put together for certain workflows, for certain groups of people. So I'll give you an example. So your marketing team may have a set of standard apps or packages that they use. You can package those together and give the group within the marketing team access to that. So when someone new gets onboarded, straight away they can start using straight away they'll have access to those packages. So let's click on new access package here. So create a collection. So it's a collection of those resources. So let's just give it a name. Let's call it marketing collection. I'll call it package actually. Package. Oh, I always do that. My second letter always keep my finger on the shift key too long. Give it a description. This is a demo. But here if you look at the highlight catalog, this catalog is a container of resources and access packages. Create a catalog to group related resources and access packages together and delegate management of them to the catalog's owner. So as I mentioned, if you a good example is like a departmental. So you have this called the marketing team. Again, rather than you as the administrator, IT administrator, managing this package, you can delegate that permission. A bit like group management. So the owner of this catalog can actually manage who has access, what packages are in there. So again, it's automating a process and actually delegating tasks outside the IT team, so you can then, as an IT team, focus on other aspects of improving end user experience or improving the sort of systems and sort of maintaining that. So we've got various the catalogs. So we've got general there. We can search. Let's try and search for something. If you have multiple catalogs, you can search them here. I've only just got general because I'm not doing this. Or we can actually create a new catalog. So an existing catalog, I think by default is general. If I was to create a new catalog, I could just call it again marketing. Catalog. We can enable it for external users. Let's click no for that. Let's just leave it internally and create. So let's call that, so that we're going to use that. Okay, so then we're going to add resources. So you can add different resources to this package. So we can specify the permissions associated with each resource by selecting the role from the group. So let's go groups and teams first of all. So see all groups and teams. Let's see all groups and teams. So do I have a marketing team? I don't think I do. I don't. I am IT doesn't have. But let's just try and create. Let's try and find a group. Have I got an AVD group somewhere? Yeah, let's just put AVD users. Let's just say that's the group. Okay, that's adding the group. Now I want to give them access to an application. Let's just say it's that registered app there. Okay, so this could be one of the apps. You could add loads of applications here if you wanted. And let's just click on a SharePoint site as well. We'll give them access to that SharePoint site as well. Okay, so we can give them a role within here. So those users, we could make them either a member or an owner. So if we had a group that we wanted to be able to manage this, we'd make them the owner. Let's just make these members for now. Again, let's give default access to the application. Again, I think for this we want to give them members access, not owners. Well, let's just say there was a group which we wanted to give. So let's just add a group here, and we'll do it to our. Let's just say that's our administrative group. Okay, so that's added that security group here. We can give them owner role there, so they're going to be the administrators. So we go to request. So create a policy to specify who can request an access package, who can approve requests, and when request access expires. So again, we're trying to automate that. So users who can request access, users in the directory. So yeah, for users in the directory, they can. So specify users and groups. We want it so only our AVD users can request access. Actually, no, we'll do it so all members can request access. All company. Allow users and groups in your directory to request access package. Oh, so that's requesting an access package. So we don't want that. Actually, we only want people within the AVD group for this example. Okay, so approval, require approval. Yes, we do want there to be approval. Require, again, we want justification. Again, we don't want to make it difficult for people. So I think just having a manager approval is fine. Again, I think we want to make it quick as well. So we just say 2 days, you have to make a decision. What we can do is here, this is quite clever. We can actually put a fallback. Now, this is in case the system cannot find an approver. So if we click on fallback there, we can make it so an email gets sent to admin. Okay, so that's quite clever there. And again, require approver justification. So we can have some advanced settings to this if we wanted to. If no action is taken forward to alternative approver. And I believe we want to click yes to that. Because again, we need to have sort of backups here, don't we? So let's click on approver, and we'll make that the admin person there. But again, you could put, so it can't be that initial person, so let's remove that. And we'll make it me. Let's just say me. If I can find me, there I am. Okay, so I'm going to be that backup approver. And then enable new requests. Yeah, we do want to enable new requests as well. So this is where we can put in sort of collect information attributes from the requester. So again, if we wanted to be more specific around the questions that we're asking, we can input those here. This is not required, so we won't. So for a lifecycle, access package assignment expires number of days. So how many days do you want to get? This again for something like a marketing package, which is more kind of general. You probably want to do it for the whole year and then review it. Or again, it depends how often you want to review this. I would say after 6 months, really, you want to review this. And can users request specific timelines? Yes, they can. Or you could click on no if not. So this is essentially, if enabled, users requesting this access package will be able to submit a custom start or end date. Again, I think that's quite important because there might be some people outside of the management group, marketing group that have been added to the their group just for short, for maybe a secondment or something like that. And can requires access review? Yes, that requires access review as well. Again, we can specify loads of information, different information around expiry. So if we click on, again, this is custom reviews, which is, custom extensions. So configure a rule if event, then, so if say, so this is like an event rule. So if X, Y, Z happens, then do ABC, okay? So if something happens where a user leaves a group, the AVD user group, then remove their access. That's essentially what we could do here for custom extensions. Again, review and create, and then we can click on create. Okay, so I'm not going to do that in this case, but that was essentially access packages. Then we move down the catalog. See, these are all the catalogs. So I said this is what I created earlier, and so I've gone through this already. And here are connected organizations. This is if we have any external organizations connected. So again, we can add external directories if we wanted. And that's the kind of when we have partners who are going to be we're working with on, and they might need access to some of these catalogs. Reporting, this is to review sort of any requests or any assignments. And again, from here we can search for a user if we want. And again, this kind of tells us if there's any sort of resource assignments that have happened for a user. And here we're looking at more sort of the reporting, but I don't have any log analytics integrated with this yet. As we go down, these are sort of the settings we can implement. So these are more the sort of identity governance settings. So again, we can block external access if we want. We can remove external access. We'll obviously have to click on edit. This is like the number of days before removing external access. Again, these are all the defaults at a tenant level that we can set. Okay, so that's what we do from settings. I believe we're going to be looking at lifecycle workflows. We are going to be looking at. So I'm going to leave lifecycle workflows because that's in the next episode. And I'm going to leave access reviews as well. So that's pretty much what I want to look at in entitlement management. Let's jump back into the presentation to see what the next topic is. Welcome back. So we've just looked at entitlement management, and we've kind of explained what it was and looked in the portal and what we can configure. So next topic, I think the final one in this episode, it's just going to do 2 topics, is access review. So again, let's jump straight back into the portal and take a look. Welcome back. So now we're back in the portal and we're going to look at access reviews specifically. So we're back in this left-hand side of identity governance or access reviews. Okay, so again, as you can see, we worked our way down here, but we're going to look at lifecycle workflows in the next episode, so I'm not going to do that yet. But here we have the overview of access review. So again, just for those that are aware, access reviews in Azure AD, which is obviously part of Microsoft Entra, it enables companies and organizations to efficiently manage your sort of group membership, access to sort of your enterprise apps, and sort of role assignments. So and users can be reviewed regularly to make sure only the right people have access to sort of applications and services, and they have continued access. So again, this is where we can automate sort of access, and this is obviously the dashboard where you can see the sort of access reviews and the status. Obviously, this is my demo tenant, so I don't really have any. But if we click on access reviews here, this is where we can configure access reviews. Okay, so click on new access review. Select what we're going to review. So first of all, let's select what we're going to review. We're going to review teams or group access or applications. Let's review teams and group access. So select teams we want to review. So again, I'm going to use that AVD group as a guinea pig. We should create some more test groups. Okay, so the scope, is this guest users only or is it all users? So you look at access reviews for service principals requires an Entra workload identity premium plan package itself is there. In addition to Azure AD. So that's a good thing to note, especially if you're going to be doing maybe an exam in this area. That for access reviews for service principals, we're not reviewing a service principals, but if you do want to do service principal reviews, then you need the Entra workload identities premium plan in addition to Azure AD P2. But for us, we're going to scope review to all users' identities and memberships to the selected review target. So again, but this is really good if you want to review guest access. If we had a group membership or a Teams channel for guest users only, we could review that access. So again, at the bottom here, this is quite important. Inactive users, do we want to create those only? But no, we're going to leave that. So let's look at the review. Determine review stages, reviews, and timeline below. So is it going to be a multi-stage review? Again, I think this needs to be really, how difficult do you want to make it? It depends on the access, I suppose. We're only doing a group. So for this, I wouldn't do a multi-stage group. So you can add up to 3 stages if you want, but we're just going to do we're just going to do 1 stage. I like to remove them. We're going to leave that. So select reviewers. Again, is it going to be I think it should be the group owner, but then do we need a fallback? I think it's always worth having a fallback, definitely. Just again, you don't want a single point of failure anywhere in any service within your tenancy. So always try and have a fallback or someone else or another group that can do reviews if the group owner is not available, or even have a number of group owners really, but always worth doing a fallback. So specify reoccurrence. So how often do you want to do reviews? And again, I think depending on the access and depending on what you're doing, I think group membership maybe be done on a, again, I would say theme of basis. So, you know, maybe every 90 days, have a look at that. We're trying to stay secure, but also trying to reduce the amount of management overhead. So you don't want, I personally wouldn't want to be reviewing group membership anyway to like a standard group every week or every couple of days. If it's a high access group, you know, it's got a lot of privileged access, then definitely. But I think doing it, you need to have an element of trust in your business as well. So I think having access review every couple of months, every 3 months, I would think was the reason. Unless it was a specific requirement from the client, I would recommend. You don't want to try to reduce management overhead, not create more. Review recurrent. So I'd say semi-annual again, and then we can obviously do a start date. And again, I think this should be continuous. So you don't really want to put an end date in. So we'll look at settings here. What should we do upon completion? Auto apply results to a resource. I think that's fair enough. Or, you know, if reviews don't respond, then again, this is how strict you want to be. I don't think you want to, again, unless it's a really sort of high security level group or you know, sort of resource, I wouldn't remove that. And I would also not approve it either. I think I'd either do no change or I'd take recommendations, I think. So again, make sure we send a notification. And again, I think that should be to the admin or the, let's say that's the owner of that group or that resource. Again, enable review decision helpers. So, you know, if they don't sign in within 30 days, again, advanced settings, you can do justification. I always believe that should be enabled. Should always get the user to justify their access requests. Again, email notifications, I think is important. I'm so reminded because we all forget, don't we? And then we can review and create. So review a name, put myself, put a little description in there. Then we can click create. I think this might, yeah, it's going to. Okay, so again, this is just me going through the motions with this because it's a demo, but these access reviews are very much going to depend on the resource you're trying to review. You'll have certain standard groups which I think don't need to review as much. You might have certain resources that are more high secure, so they do need more reviews. Very much depends on your use case. Okay, so let's move on to programs. So again, this is where we see we've got a sort of default one here. Let's just click on this default one. So again, this is sort of the sort of program we've got, default business workflow. Again, this shows us the reviewed groups, any reviewed apps in it, shows how many members are part of it. Again, you can see I'm initializing. So this has obviously been created since I created the access package. We can create new programs here if we want. Demo program. Oh, only I can spell. We can type probably. Demo, and just create that, and hopefully that should show up in a second. There we go. So again, we can click on this, look at the dashboard, look at the access reviews for any. We can create a new access review for this if we want. As we move down, again, these are more the tenant settings for access reviews. There's not a lot here. You can delegate who can create and manage access reviews. Group owners can create and manage access reviews for groups they own. I think it's improving. I think that's quite important because again, we'll try and delegate tasks if we can. Finally, review history. So this is again just some reporting from the access reviews area. So that is this episode done and dusted with. Again, really one of my more enjoyable parts of one of my enjoyable topics is identity governance, along with probably the sort of RBAC and PIM stuff. So enjoying doing this part of it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it as well. We are going to cover, I think there's a second part of this topic the next episode, but thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment. I always want feedback, and if you're not subscribed, why not? The growth of my channel has just been overwhelming, if I'm honest. I'm really happy that it's grown as it has done, and I'm going to hopefully, as long as people are liking it, I'll keep on creating content. So thank you very much. Got a bit of a busy period coming up, a lot of traveling, so I'm going to try and keep up with the videos, try and do the sort of every other day releases, but please bear with me if I can't. Again, links to the topics that we've covered, link to my socials. Please reach out to me, follow me on Twitter, or connect me on LinkedIn. So thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.